So we're looking at life forms, yes, and multiple different life forms. What are life forms? Intelligent life forms, yes. We're going to mainly try and focus in on them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at the connecting thread. So, yeah, let's just say the thread and this one. Okay, so let's break these down.
Mhm.
Okay, so we could assume, it's safe to assume, right?
Yeah.
That any intelligent life forms are going to formulate. Now, we have to understand what is the thread. The thread we could call, I don't know, God, spiritual, ancestral, whatever it may be, yes, but we'll stick to commonly God because it's widely known, yes?
Yeah.
So, this inner knowing, this inner wisdom, higher power, whatever it may be that you align to, that's the thread, yes? Now, that is interesting. Now, there's a subcategory of that because then we've got the artificial version or the control.
Mhm.
So that's more like people that stand in the way of that in order to make particularly your life forms look at this because they connect to this.
Yeah.
Which usually means that we can control the flow of how the life forms are going to, I don't know, let's say pan out.
Mhm.
Their direction, yes?
Yeah.
And control often formulates on this. So we'll look at life forms and we'll say that humans, we can understand humanity for a moment, a brief moment. We can say intelligent life forms, perhaps the dominant is human at the moment, yes?
Yeah.
So we can put humans, and then we've got animals, then we've got plants, and then what? So we could probably say nature for that one. That covers mushrooms as well. But now let's go mushrooms as well, and then bacteria. Ocean life. Yeah, we're going to put that one in as well. So, O.
Oh.
And for the most part, nature has gone in this direction. For the most part, animals also in this direction. What else have we got? Ocean life this direction, and everything else has pretty much gone in this direction. Humans have kind of gone in this direction. Now, you'd have to ask yourself something, yes?
Mhm.
Then would the creator, if you want to call it that, creator, wisdom, God, whatever it is,
Mhm.
has it got favorites?
Mhm.
Just by looking at that, the gifts that are unlocked. So nature becomes a favorite. Why? Because it's able to clone.
Yeah.
This is done within it.
Mhm.
The way humans clone is going to be done with AI or something like that, yes? Or robots.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a way to clone, isn't it? Cloning humans.
Mhm.
We'll see a production in robotics, but a decrease in human activity. Now, that would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? So it's definitely got favorites then among the species because are these ones unlocked? Animals unlocked? I mean, are they going to end up building a fucking spaceship and going off towards space and have the ability to lift anything up? Take it like lions or...
No.
We often compare ourselves to animals, but humans are anything but animals. And then, if we are to eat those and become a sustainable food source off of nature and animals, clearly it's got a favoritism then, yeah? So it does favour. I'm just going to put it in shorthand, doesn't really matter. So it favours certain species, yeah?
Yeah.
Among others. And then if we stretch that spectrum, does it favour life forms individually? So individual life forms. You know, I was often talking about cherry picking, and everyone thinks that if you do this, act like this, move like this, talk like this, walk like this, speak like this, act like this, you know, gatekeeper, you'll be, we're like this with God, you see, or we're like this with that inner spark. We're so good with that we know what is best for you. And it has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It's not what we want, it's what this wants through us, but only through us. And we could take a look at that and think, let's ask the bigger question. when you look across the whole of your planet, has this wisdom, divine spark, whatever it may be, got favourites? And the answer is yes. Yes, clearly. Because if it didn't have favourites and it treated everybody the same, then all of the animals would be able to speak, communicate, and all of you'd come together and all of this stuff. And then we might say that that's because of evolving. And, well, then nature should be more evolved than humans then. It seems to be a lot older. It's got more capabilities, but still dialed back quite a bit. Most of it is eaten in order to sustain life for the humans, yeah? Support structure, that's a system. So system is, nature is the main character in all of it, yes?
Yeah.
Do animals rely on nature?
Yeah.
So they don't rely on a divine spark necessarily.
No.
They rely on nature. That's interesting, isn't it? What does nature rely on? Environment,
sunshine.
Yes.
Right.
What does that rely on? Space and different things. What does that rely on? That's interesting, isn't it? Now, does it have favourites? Well, it's kind of categorised everything. So nature is sustaining animals. Nature sustains humans.
Yeah.
But humans so far perhaps have the crown rest upon them. Only at the moment. Now, can that change? Better question, has it changed? Well, you don't know. And could you trust it? What happens if you sat there digging into the dirt and found remnants of past? Are you going to release all of that truthfully? Or do you think that there might be gatekeepers that might be associated with that and be like, we're not going to tell you this. Don't tell them that. Well, why not? Well, because I don't know if our egos can handle it. It won't make us feel very special, will it? So rather than this being the one that chooses, no, we got gatekeepers that choose, yeah? So if you start to rise up, perhaps they'll fire cannons at you. I've walked this path, and I'm sure many others have as well. Oh, you can't excel in what they are? Fucking no way. Why? Because our entitlement before anything else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our statue compared to anything else. Come on, we're the important ones here. I guess unfortunately it seems to be becoming not so important in the grand scheme of things. So we've got a subcategory then. So it's definitely chosen humans. And then does it choose individual humans? I talk about cherry picking, yes? And again, don't take my word for it. Go and do your own research. Go within yourself and see if this makes any sense to you, more so than anything else. Do you think it chooses categories among humans?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably that.
So something out there is higher power than all of us then, yes?
Yeah.
That seems to be picking and certain vessels that it wants to interact with.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then we'll assume then if it creates an abundance and it picks life forms, what if there is ET? How many people have killed in the name of religion?
Many.
Many, yes? Religion. What is religion? When we weed it back, what is religion? Well, a higher power, yes?
Yeah. Believe in something higher.
What has driven most of humanity forwards for eons before these structures stand today? Look at the monuments. Take a look around. They've survived millennia, right? The average buildings will be depleted within a very large amount of time. It's interesting because you often get the same process happen where humans are susceptible to have these gatekeepers. Because they want to protect their power. Although it's artificial, it's crap, it's useless, unless used in the correct way. Hey, don't let me tell you anything, do your own. And they get their power from a higher power, do they? and they're doing God's work, yeah? The higher power's work, because that's what the higher power wants them to do, isn't it? It's to build you up and dumb down your species, make your species sick. That's what it wants you to do. That's what it asks you to do. It wants you to destroy nature. It wants you to stay here playing Monopoly. It wants you to stay here and worship money, an idol. It wants you to do all of those things that keep you limited with rare earth resources, I might add. Very rare earth resources. It wants you to just hold on to the most littlest of you can.
Yeah.
Share it amongst yourselves and
not give
and it
the
also
rest.
wants you to shrink your numbers, but not your numbers. Shit, no way, never your numbers, because that's exactly what it wants you to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like it, but no, not really.
Nah. And these people are going to go to heaven, and God is going to, the higher power is going to get on its knees and be like, you know what? You there at the top there that had all of those opportunities and chose to squander every single one of them. You, all of you. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. 250 fucking thousand life forms. Come on. Pass go. Go on. Get your ass in there. Really? Do you believe this?
No. But they try to make you believe
They make
it.
you believe it. There you are, gatekeeping. There you are. Make you believe it. Yes, exactly that. And again, you go do your own research. You know, take this as a blueprint. Now ask yourself something else. Now, is there then going to be other life forms? E.T.
Yeah.
Equally intelligent, if not more.
Yeah.
I will never say equal. Now, let's assume then that it's just humanity, yeah? Then there would only be one star system.
Yeah.
Just one. Just yours. No other stars. No galaxies. Nothing. No point. What's the point? It just make you, and it was all an accident. It was never meant to happen. With all that intelligence cooking off, you seem to think that this is an accident. Never heard misinformation. Just smell it. Ooh, smell all of that.
But they will tell you that it's not accident because God believed it.
Oh.
God made it.
God, yes.
Yeah, it was God that made this area, this place around us. And
So a higher power then, yeah? Call it what you will. God, this, that, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter really, does it? Overall, what you call it. Now, assuming they have different but very similar restraints that they've been unlocked. Now, whereas before it seemed to be authentic, people would get together and begin to think things and different things like that. I mean, shit me. Generations back, without education, without freaking modern engineering and all the rest of it, without all of that stuff that seemed pretty preeminent in nature, yes? Very primal, managed to build monuments that stood the test of time. That's without engineering.
yeah.
I mean, isn't that amazing? And that they were more towards the stars and they had better knowledge than currently is accepted today. Then it goes from full-on knowing to believing. Believe. I'm just going to do it in this way, and then we have non, and then we have knowing. Belief, weak. Non-belief, also weak. Knowing, strong. They had a knowing that was so ooshed in them that they decided to carve stone, one of the most hardest. They were understanding the stars. I mean, we take a look at the Mayans in that. And we'll take a look at the Egyptian pyramids, which I don't think they're pyramids, I think they're stars. I think the walls, always in a building, a brick wall will always fall before the house. You can see this in a lot of ruins. The walls crumble first. Very thin and take a bombardment. They don't last very long. And then we've got the individuals that go and chisel bits away here, there, and everywhere. Bits crumble. A more solid object is going to stand the test of time than something that is singular and appears to be solid. No. Walls crumble. Aye. So what if we have other life forms that are like humans? Now, humans rely on what? 1%. Is it 1% of humanity is, you know, the best? Is it 1%? Could that be 1%? 5%? What percentage would you say that was out of 99? So say out of 100. Which is a percentage that has everything they could possibly want? Which ones is it? And with all of this stuff that they could possibly want with, what do? They stick it in a vault somewhere. They don't utilize it in any way. We keep building up and we say our nation's rich. Rich in what? Who is rich? Rich how? Because we've got vaults of gold. Well, how? How are we rich? What's the plan? You know, it's been held for centuries. What do you plan to do with that? Hold it for what reason? Why? What are you waiting for? What are you going to do? Give it to fucking aliens? What are you going to do? By God. What is it you're going to plan to do with all of that wealth? Kingdom wealth, we call it, right? What do you plan to do with it? Pays for 1%. Keeps 1% at an illusionary top. What is that? What was 99% then don't have access? Have to ask. You're born into that, and you hold that to keep 1%, and then gatekeep who gets to be 1%.
Yeah.
How do we move? That's one.
Not this way.
If that was a test, you fail. Maybe it is a test, and you are failing. Who knows? And then it's easier to say that there is no ET. It's easier to say there are no other life forms. Take a look around your planet. How infested? How many other star systems? How infested is space? How many galaxies? How infested is that?
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me that just here was the only place that got the spark and amino acids, building blocks of life, and nowhere else in this fucking star system, anywhere with the same periodic tables, is equally infested then? Nowhere else. Just here. And with that rarity in mind, that's what allowed 1%. Let's switch the test. What if ET decided to follow this higher power? What if they had it too? You know, we're talking about the reach through and everything else. What if they're all feeling this? And it's similar, different direction, but even still, we'd have to accept then that all life forms will act exactly the same. No, that's an illusion because 1% have maintained the 1% illusion for a long particular amount of time, which is not true. On rare and, you know, rare. Oh, that word gets used a lot, right? Rare. It's so rare. Which then makes them rare at the top and you abundant. What happens if these, let's assuming in that really hard to believe, although it's so fucking obvious, that there are other life forms with a similar sort of animals and nature and perhaps mushrooms and anything else, yeah? Ocean life.
Yeah.
Now let's assume that they're tapping into this same wisdom that seems to track down with humans and, you know, they all sort of feel this. Maybe. And rather than shutting it down, smacking it all out of society, and we can see this, didn't they nail Jesus to a cross? And how many others did they nail to a cross? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
They started speaking and talking and feeling this spark, which they were like, shit. If one person starts feeling it, what if they all start feeling it? Then we no longer be rare. Our significance turns insignificant. It was already insignificant. Give me a paper bag. It's all right. You got your meditation tactics and you got your mental health things, so you'll be able to rely on these. But what if ET feels the same thing? But rather than shutting it out like humans have, you know, removing it all so that we give this illusion, what if they went the opposite way? What if they turned rare into abundance? Or what if they embraced it to, rather than have 1%, where you're access to anything you want to do, and the word no, I know it hurts you, but still, you know, you don't like the word no, do you? Watch them spit their dummies out of a pram when you say no. What kind of reaction you get from them when you say no? Oh, fine family breeding there. Tons of fucking getting what you want, whenever you want, however you want. Look at that. Cool. Yeah, that's fine breeding, that is. Cool. Say the word no. Shit me. I could launch you into space with that amount of anger that you get because you hear the word no. Put a payload on it and send it to space. The word no. Interesting. What if other life forms don't have that? There's always a yes. And rather than having 1% illusionary top and this slow progress of what we call intelligence, which it's not, what if they did that with 99% of their population? And rather than shrinking it down over and over again, let's have another war, shall we? Let's have another this. Let's kill these people. Let's put poisons in their foods. Let's make this. Let's put asbestos in houses. Let's build houses so shit so that we can just keep them down. What happens if they decided not to do that? And expand their numbers, and with that they turn rare into abundance. And if they do have to turn rare into abundance and they were to follow a force, would it shape them? How much more advanced would they be? And then let's say there are more. So some do it at 50%. We got humans 1%. I mean, 1% on that test, that looks like a failure to me. Their test is 50-50. Well, let's say that these ones are 20-80 and these ones are 100%. If you were this higher power, which ones would you love more? Because favoritism is now favoritism, right? Which ones could you work more with? Which ones would you want to collect more? Which ones show you more promise?
Where people share, or
Yeah, but why?
beings share. Because they have more as well, and they
Which
share
ones would be
more
more
with nature.
advanced? If this is 1% and this is what is created from 1%, all of society that you see now, what if you transformed that into 99% worth of that? 100% worth of that? Shit, even 50% worth of that. 10%. How many more breakthroughs would there be? How much more of this would be enhanced? Any life forms that enhance this as opposed to diminish it? Everything's spectrum based, right? Have you ever noticed that? It's always one way or another way, yes? So you'd be here perhaps with this, let's say, I don't know, higher power, you want to call it that? Call it whatever you will. So there will be some life forms that greed takes over and greed will win, and they are the top.
Yeah.
And they begin to erode it. They begin to erode their species. They begin to do all sorts of things that shoot themselves in the foot and call it intelligence and power.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Whatever. And that's what they are. Yeah, powerful, and they go that way. Now, what happens if others embrace what they are? Uplift what they are. Work out what this is. Enhance it as opposed to diminish it.
Yeah, instead of fighting each other, they make something together.
And shit me, there's a lot of knowing, isn't it? A lot of knowing. It's no longer a belief. It becomes more of a certainty is the next one above this. Knowing is a little bit more, but knowing, certainty, belief or non-belief. Atheism. Notice it growing. Well, why do you think that is? How many are trying to engineer to calcify a pineal gland using water? Tap water. Stay there.
Mm-hmm.
How many tried to calcify your pineal gland using tap water?
Yeah, see.
How many of you have had educations around a chalkboard? This is no accident. Paracetamol laced with chalk, mineral content in water laced with chalk. Look at that. Nail it to a cross, diminish it out, no purification. No, they'll do the opposite. They want to follow everything to the Egyptians. They've not made anything themselves, have they? They've just stolen everything. Look at it. We talk about purification. I wonder what it means. What do you reckon purification means? What do you think the Egyptians were working out and the ancients trying to purify? What do you reckon they would do if they saw a society that claimed that everything was from the ancient Egyptians and they were fucking around with people's tap water and doing the opposite of purification? The only thing they're trying to purify is their own existence, their selfish little existence. That's the only thing you're trying to purify. And you tell me, is that good? Anyone a part of this? Anyone want to come and join in? Chalk-based paint, chalk everywhere inside your house. I mean, just chalk, 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 really, isn't it? And they say it's good for your bones, chalk toothpaste. Oh, it's good for your bones. Then people from the White Cliffs of Dover must have the strongest bones we've ever seen then. Yeah, there must be strong bones there. They must never have tooth decay, do you reckon? Kind of all bullshit, all of this, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. You think I'd rigged it, but that's up to you. You believe what you want. I extract things from water to find its purification. Look at that. Why would people go to that length? What about arsenic inside pipes? What about diminishment and constantly causing just fucking negativity in communities, utilizing this? Whether directly or indirectly, and whether accidentally turning a blind eye to this sort of stuff here, that sort of stuff over there, and then move people into this situation to try and get them to break. Man, do you know how pathetic that is? While claiming power. And don't worry, you're all safe because we made bombs that only know how to kill humans. I mean, bravo fucking oh. Really, that's wonderful. Take a stand up. Bow for me. There you are. Well done. You've made the most destructible thing that you possibly can that shows the rest of anything else that's intelligent how to destroy you. You've basically given out a full dossier to anything watching. How do you wreck a human? How do you destroy a human's mind? How do you bring humans down? I would never need to come to this planet from a distance to know how to fuck you all up. Because you've shown it. Calcium is your kryptonite, correct? So I just need to stack the deck on the planet and make it calcified. Could I find calcium elsewhere? Could I make calcium and then just keep bombarding your planet with it? And then you'll be so stupid that you won't know what to do. Can I make it psychological as well whilst I'm doing it? Can I destroy your whole species with this? And assuming that they're friendly, oh, let's hope they are. Let's hope they're not like you. Let's hope there ain't a few greedy ones out there that are less than 0.1% as opposed to 1%. I suppose there is worse. But let's hope that they didn't reach towards the heavens, hey? Because if they found you there, what would they be looking for? Life forms teach you how to destroy themselves. Nuclear bomb? Well, this could be medicine to some things. It can be a power source as well, can't it? And assuming that they've gone to space near stars, nuclear fusion and everything else, do you not think that they would understand the dangers of that and then utilize that into a medicine? Whoa. Then you'll be hiding in your bunkers with most of the population already wiped out. You did their work for them, really, didn't you? And they just come and get you whilst you're in your bunkers and pick you off one by one. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Well, bravo. I mean, we've really thought this through, haven't we? And then you'll say that there isn't. Is there not a higher power? Let's hope for your sake there isn't anything beyond here. Because, I mean, you'll have to walk up to that and explain yourself. Rhetorical, but still explain yourself. And that 1% in your test. Wow. Yeah, I can see the heavens are bowing for you all. Do you really believe that? I'd go atheist as well, actually, because it beats looking into a mirror at what you are. Making other people suffer so that you can live the life that you need to. Destroying people mentally so that you can look on top, by contrast. Interesting, really, isn't it? Whilst we depend on a planet, and then what are we going to do if aliens do come? Let's laugh it up, shall we? Let's have a giggle fest. Ain't laughing now, though, are you? And then when it starts to happen, what are you going to do? You're going to have a psychological break, yes? And no tools in your arsenal to be able to help one another, because it's all about destroying shit. And then what's their cognitive ability on that? Take a tiny seed that you give and amplify it and grow it into a forest and hit it down on your psyches. You've given them a dossier. Wow, that's interesting. They're busy pulling themselves apart. Why? Just so these ones. And that's a fair society, is it? And there are no, it's not like that. It's not rigged. Honestly, it really isn't. Why so many efforts? What else is there? Why so much effort towards it then? Diminishment, sabotage. We pay for that, do we? We're paying for this.
Yeah.
And you'll say that it's accident because we take it from chalk in here and there. No, that's not an accident. You can purify this stuff before it comes in. But no, profit is much more better, right? You mean to tell me that a company that has been charging for God knows how long, that's your result? Arsenic, that's your result. You've made things so toxic in heating water that it then goes onto your skin and begins to leach. I mean, that's special, that is, isn't it? And that's a fair society for everyone, is it? And then what happens if your planet gets destroyed in this instant, which, you know, you'll say, oh, we'll just quickly get in our spaceships and fucking fly around. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to cognitively deal when your planet is gone? Right before your very eyes, obliterated, you're in space. How do you deal with that? Do you even know? No, of course not. Look at this book. We just know how to fuck each other up. And then what? You're going to take them on with some sort of sticks, I imagine, because that's what we're paying into, isn't it? Weaponry and all of this crap. Well, what are you going to do the first time you traverse into space? You don't think that they're going to be good at this? Any other life forms, and that's assuming that there are. You don't think that they travelled star system to star system to star system to star system, transforming things as they go, learning about themselves, reaching abundance, expanding their numbers, and your limited numbers to space are going to be a match. And you're just getting to grips with it. Believing, not knowing, believing you are power. Nah, I don't think so. And it depends on how far they've gone and what's worked with them and whether this favours them more. Because this is the interesting bit. How many people have killed one another in the name of religion over the history? Over the whole of history, how many? And that's on 1%. How many people really experience that? Past more experienced it, and it always happens the same way. It starts off as all of this socialistic, and then it moves over to imperialism, and slavery often is the outcome. That's usually what happens. Now, let's say that people have killed in the name of religion, and that's on a lack of understanding this higher power, because we've just accepted it as this and that's it. That is how it's going to stay. What if they've shaped it and this wants them to do something in the name of religion? That's a lot of capability, isn't it? That's a lot of, and then it depends on where they've built themselves up. Where have they built themselves? What ratio? I mean, we can only imagine. We can look at humanity and take that as the baseline. Is it broken? It's up to you, really, isn't it? Which way do you want to continue going? What, so we make certain people sit on top of something? Makes them feel powerful? Do you feel powerful, honestly? Do you really feel powerful? So that you get to waltz around with abundance and everybody else gets to have the backs broken off of this. Where we stay here playing this same game over and over again. Is that a choice? Do you choose that? Is that your choice?
No.
Do you choose that?
No.
What would you choose, given the choice? Abundance and reach out higher, and then more and more people. There's a lot of knowing to be able to transform many people. And I mean, if this is just touching, this is a small tip of an iceberg of a very large grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
How many people do you think would need to be able to hold that knowing? And then what can they do with it if more people have that knowing mixed in with personality? I kind of like doing this, and they excel at that. That's one breakthrough. A collective pop. So 1% have collected all of this stuff that they say that that's how reality is going. 99% collect what? It's invisible. Pen. It's too small, man. It's too small. How much could 99% collect? Transform, know?
Much more.
And then if you weren't diminishing your numbers, but expanding your numbers, how much more knowing is that? And then how much more transformation is that in lives?
Yeah. Going in different directions, learning about everything.
How many illnesses are there?
Yeah.
Many, yes.
Many, yeah.
How many problems are there?
Yeah.
Many.
Yeah.
How many more problems will there be? Even more so. But when you've got the right amount of humans
they can
expanding, taking on this because they like it and they want to conquer it, how much more? And then this knowing, how much more knowing is accumulating when you're shaping it into seeing something? And then where would you rate your whole species on a system like this? Never mind whether you believe it or not, doesn't really matter, but even still, where would you rate yourself? Are you the 100%? Are you the 20-80? Are you the 50-50?
No, you know where we are. We are the 1%.
What a 1%?
Maybe 2, but more like 1.
But waltz around like we're so fucking great.
Yeah, and talk poorly about the other people from whom they hold all the resources and everything away.
And hold it for what? To maintain this
just
1%?
Just to feel important.
Yes, that is all it is. Just to make contrast. It's just contrast. That's all it is.
Instead of achieving anything, they just publish in newspapers and everywhere how much this one has and how much that one has, and they have a chart of who's richer this year and who's richer next year, and
and then if it doesn't come into their family, let's try and kill it, let's try and shut it down, let's try and do this, let's try and weaponize the health against it. Well done, Saffron, step forward. Well done, all you other groups. Come on. Oh, God, you guys look so powerful, don't you? You're weak. Admit it, you're weak. You're crooks. You're deceptive. You're liars. You are liars. Walk this path and let's see. Walk it. And constantly destroy everything, everyone, everything, and that's what? Feel proud? Cool. You're getting close to death. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Closer you get to meet your maker. And Let me understand. They must be proud, yes? All of it. Anything collected. Any fucking civilization out there that has made it beyond what they have. And they've given it a good go, sure. Perhaps might not got to the end of the map, but we're collected by this. Cherry-picked. When you waltz in there with all of your... When you strip down to the bare nothing, they're going to accept you, aren't they? You're going to just automatically, authentically just going to be absorbed into this for all of that stuff that you did. Because you were doing God's work, right? You were doing the holiest of holy. You were doing the higher powers work. That's what you were doing. When the higher power seems to have a different agenda completely, doesn't it? Not easy, not perfect, not straightforward, no. But at least a far sight better than what you're offering. Well, shit me, the kingdom beyond is going to segregate itself and go, you know what? Well, I think we better put you in there. And you still have your love for humanity. Yeah, you're damn right, because I believe in it. The right education with the right sort of tweaking with the right sort of this. And I think that it can really become something beautiful.
Yeah.
This way? Nah. Are you stuck? No. Do you choose to do this? Yes. Have you ever thought of doing it a different way? Perhaps. Do you think you could do it a different way? If so, why aren't you? You can use some of your task forces that are designed to diminish and push people down, and you can use those to accelerate people.
Yeah.
That's a choice. Anything else that you meet along the way that are anything like you will have no choice and no chance to bring you down because you're too busy countering it. But right now, you're giving them a lot, and let's hope that they stay stuck on their planet. But I'm willing to bet that's not how it works. Imagine if they have diminished all of their species and created this. Would you do God's work? Would you do a higher power's work? Would you protect yourself from it? Would you? First, you would need to know what you're dealing with, and you can only assume it from the worst parts of yourself. Would you cherry pick, or would you stand in the way of that? Would you give a chance if you were the higher power? Maybe we create gods, by the way. Think about that, creating gods. You can become one. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Then you have to have faith. Oh my days, and faith. Jesus Christ. Some of this stuff goes in the wrong direction completely. What's the right direction? Fuck knows, to be honest, but it definitely ain't this. And you have the power to shut all of this shit down? And then what? We're going to make out that we're fucking powerless to certain fucking corporations? Are you kidding me? Though we were the top of the top. You can't shut this shit down? You can't rectify it? Oh, shit me, power looks weak all of a sudden, doesn't it? It's getting a little bit frail. You want a chair? You might want to sit down for this one. Cool. Don't let them fucking beat you. With their zero fucking weaponry and their zero this, and all they've got is psychological tactics. You're supposed to be the might of the world, and yet when it comes to an organisation like this, take a chair, got to sit down and feeling fatigued. Oh, you got a paper bag anywhere? What a joke. Couldn't make out that we didn't tell them to do that. Chips it, come on. That's how you steer society. Because it ain't you, it ain't us, it ain't this. And you're jealous of this, man. Please. Please. Where do you want to be on that spectrum? I want to be here. I want to be here. And not just for me, but for everybody in that. All doing their... You're hearing a lot of yeses. You're receiving a lot of abundance, a lot of support to lift you up and get you where you need to be. Let's see what type of vessel you are. Rather than this constant struggle, this constant debt, this constant society that is fucking absolutely sick and tiring of all of that bullshit, fake, artificial crap. Another battle here, there and everywhere. Why? What's the point in that? where everybody reaches that top spot.
Yeah.
And the next generations and the next generations, and how to heal. Which way do you think would work in a wartime situation? Let me give you an example, right? Go in with a load of weapons and kill everything in sight. That's one way.
And then what?
Let me shove a stick up your ass with your level of thinking on that one. What happens if there was one nation that were able to resurrect or prevent that? Go the opposite way. They'll say, oh, it's too hard. It's easier to... Yes, it is very hard, isn't it? Yeah. But not impossible. And that we were able to save more people than you can attack. Would you quit? Would war become obsolete? Would it?
Yeah, people would walk towards that, wouldn't they?
What happens if we function that money into expansion, life-saving?
Then we can learn new things and move forward.
Okay, move out into space and you come across life forms like that. Which one would be more beneficial? Giving them a dossier of how to wipe you out, or give them a dossier of how you support one another, and they'd be like, fuck that. Every time we hit them, they metastasize. It's like there's more of them. It's like they get stronger each time we go for them. What the fuck is going on? I mean, that would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? Weird. And then where's their nature gone? Have they lifted nature? Have they worked out with the, I don't know, animal kingdom, nature and everything else? Ocean life, and expanded it? More safety in numbers as opposed to diminishing. Keeps you well away from extinction. More hands doing, more resources coming, more abundance happening, more thoughts happening, more transformation happening. That's longevity. What do you think the ancestors were doing when they were trying to make things last as long as possible? Now factor that into your vessels, your species, all of you. Well, it works in this purification. Do you cherry pick what's great about the Egyptian structure? You did, didn't you? You based most of it, but you done the opposite on a lot of other things. I mean, that is something. That is savage, mate. All of that for the name of money.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, perhaps you should go inside yourself.
Yeah.
I think you need to sit with it. Have these conversations with yourself, and you can go and create a devil if you want. It don't exist. You become it. But it shows you it cannot last. It ends up wiping itself out. Or it is easier to be wiped out. There's a difference. What about making avatars? Cloning, that's another one. This whole universe is cloning. Fusing, defusing, cloning, and all of that sort of shit. Imagine if something else that we're tapping into is into cloning. And from my perspective, it is into this heavily. And then anything else with more percentage that lean into that, with all their species working behind them and resources of an abundance for each and every single one. More abundance than they can expand their groups into to use this abundance. I mean, that's a difference, isn't it? Yeah. Could you imagine that? And it's leveling up into cloning, and you couldn't kill it even if you went to war with it anyway. And it seems to be quite heavy into this. Take a look at nature. It is very heavy into this. It is screaming a pattern at you. And we're 1% trying to go towards that. And what if there's 99% going towards that? And automatically, if it came to battle, because it's all about battle strategy and everything else, they would outnumber you in an instant. If each one of these had their own machine, let's say it was capable of, and assuming that they used machinery, and it seems to go that way quite a lot. You would be 1% trying to make your numbers big, so you have to make them big in the beginning, or using robotics and everything else, which have a failure ratio. And depending on how big their numbers are, shit me. That is dominance. That's interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we talk about cloning then. How much does that give you in life? Then there's engineered cloning. And it seems to be following this path. Something seems to be indicating towards that, pointing towards it. It makes hierarchy sort of melt down a little bit. That's why all of this is hush-hush, isn't it? That's why all of this is disbelief. This is why all of this is ridiculed. Because it makes them look like what they are. Then it puts them into a point where they have to change, and they don't want to. Because then, how are we all special in that? Together, we're all special.
That's not special enough.
There's no one above or below, is there? What are we going to do? We're going to do what you do elsewhere, I guess. You'll find a hobby. I'm sure you've got them. And expand that and make it into a breakthrough. Cloning. Interesting, isn't it? Cloning is one thing. What happens if you start cloning particles? You start fusing things together. That's even more harder material. That's shit that has never seen. Wouldn't find it naturally. How many numbers do you need for that? I don't know where it's leading you to. Do you ever wonder that? It seems to be taking us somewhere. Step by step.
Yeah.
Shit was already teaching the ancients about stars. So many, so abundantly in this and understanding this and towards the stars. How long do you reckon you could live if you had a lot of percentage going in multiple directions, and some have a passion to break through on this? Lots of Edisons, I'd like to call them. Just don't quit. Going towards the cancer, the diseases and everything else. And before you know it, how long are you living? Fighting back against Alzheimer's, and not just for the 1%, but we'll leave the rest, and then we'll choose who gets the medicine and who gets the placebo, meaning assassination but covert. That's fucking something, that is, isn't it? And the same way it's been turned on in you, it can be turned off. That's another interesting one, isn't it? How much patience does it have? That's a better question to ask, isn't it? When is the end? Oh no, there will be end times. What do you know? End times being what? You need to be in space in order to understand the environment, right? In order to know how to move and do this, and multiple people going in many different directions and learning that difficulty until eventually there is no more left. No more difficulty in that aspect. Then interstellar space. But again, if there's something already in interstellar space, it's not impossible, but yet you haven't learnt it. Then what? And if it comes to anything like this, do you think there would be something higher lead you away from that? Well, you wouldn't need to be led away from it because you would see it from your history, right? But that's if you don't erase history, and that's assuming that you keep it. Would you be protected from that? And it depends on how advanced they got, how greedy. You can often tell they probably won't give a shit about nature. They probably won't give a shit about their other species on the planet. It'd just be about them and a small group and lots of them. Would you want something to do something about that, or would you want something to come and guide, and if it fails, then do something about that? Would you? And then cloning. Cloning is a fascinating thing. It really is fascinating to be able to clone. What about engineering? And then you'd play around with your own species, right? You'd then start looking at a lion and think, I wouldn't mind looking like a lion. Can I put my essence inside a lion? And I know that seems very hard to believe from this standard. you have to follow the path. First, it would start off as a successful clone, understanding twins. Twins are already doing this. Your species always is always doing it. So is nature. Lots of other things are doing it too. Certain types of worms, different things like that. Bacteria, single cell, anything else. But this is amazing. Now, that's the first part of it, the understanding. And then you keep going with this, and then what are you able to do with that? You get more and more better at it, make multiple clones. Then you would engineer aged clones, right? So can I now make a clone of yourself, but it goes younger and grows again from a younger point, as opposed to clone myself. Now I'm going to be the same age. Age is still a factor. That would be something that you would want to fight, is it not? Yes, it is, because you're doing it now. So you would fight the age process, and then you would find ways to get past cloning in this way. Then we'd look at splicing, and perhaps we would find a way that works with nature to push out youngster, and it grows. It's just as complex, but now we get past the aging or death. And then you would have a few vessels that you would keep in suspended animation, and all of this. Then you would then start to look at the mind. Can we link the minds together? And wait, they already have this information. Is that me? Is that you? Is this? You'd fascinate over death and wonder if that one died, did they feel it? They sort of felt something, but it would be the last thought. You could test this. You'd say, hey, on the deathbed of this particular clone. So if I had a load of clones of Terry clones, the newest one, with all of that data that was already passed, I would be thinking a word, write it into an envelope, and I would paste it down, and I would have it with me, and it wouldn't be opened by my other clones until I actually passed. I will think this right before that version of me dies. They are to guess it and write it somewhere, what they think is in that envelope. Now, I would have thought it. Then they open it, and they're like, whoa, holy shit, we did hear it. If it confirms the word. Now that, over and over, you can't do it now because you're blind to it. You die once and that's it. But you would enhance that. That would give you an inkling that there is a channel. There is something there. This leads on to other things, by the way, as well as the cloning is now developing. Now, species are starting to understand that they can send a message on death. Then that means that died, but awareness walked in. Awareness walks in. Truly didn't die. And that's interesting. That's just the end of a chapter of that one, and all of the information got passed on. Then this will make you think about DNA and evolution in your bloodlines. Because when you see it, when you study it, when you feel it, when you experience it, and you go to that part of the brain, perhaps it's going to educate you to get into that part of the brain, or awareness, if it is the brain, assuming that it is. The brain is like a door that gets you into something else. I'm almost sure of it. You would then begin to play around with that thought a little bit more. What happens if you start tapping into that more and more and more and more until your awareness becomes a bit more fixed in this area? So rather than it being a challenge to jump to that bit, oh, that thing that I felt is now this. If you tap into it a little bit more, are you tapping into your bloodline? Are you starting to get into your evolutional chain for your kids, for this, for that, for anything else, for the information that you pass down now? It's going in multiple ways. Perhaps you've got cloning going this way, then you have engineered and targeted cloning, which is then from small to growth. That's interesting. Then that bit of that awareness, can we put it into a lion? That's another question, and it will grow again, and people will find out, and it will be like lots of Edison moments. No, it didn't work. No, it didn't work. No, it didn't work. No, it didn't work. Hold on a second, it just worked. Not perfectly. Okay, let's better. How's this? It's like Wizard of Oz, but real. Holy shit, I'm a lion. Thinking like a human. You are a human. Human essence, lion body. Where did the lion's essence go then? And you'll get a little bit more better with this, a little bit more better with this. What happens if you saw other life forms on another planet and you decided to just borrow you for a second? Take a little bit of this. All right, go put it back. All right. Grow this, grow this, grow this. Okay, we've made this particular type of humanoid thing that looks exactly like them. Can we artificially shove it in a womb somehow? Can we shrink down and get into conception? Or I just made a child. Did you though? We understand then that when we get to a certain size, species get to a certain size, well, what happens if we shrink our species down? That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Honey, I shrunk the kids. Never mind that. Honey, I just shrunk the whole of humanity. Abundance just went to something. You shrink yourself down. That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You can become giant, or you can shrink yourself down. This is targeted cloning then. Can you play around with this sort of stuff? Can I straight do this, man? The more life forms you find and collect on amino acids, whatever else, building blocks, different stuff that comes together, single cells, bacteria, and all of that else that's out into other planetary areas that you may never have found because you didn't play this anymore. You moved on from that. Mm-hmm. See how it opens your awareness and you evolve with this and go forwards. Where does this come from? Perhaps it's already been done before. And ask yourselves as humans, what happens if you dropped yourselves down into an alien species? It looked like a baby, but you know that's one of yours. You don't know what they're saying to each other. Fuck knows. Why do they keep doing all of this stuff for? What's all of this? What does this fucking mean? It looks like a scribble. What the hell are they doing? What are they doing? It looks... If you're other life forms and you've never seen writing before, this is fucking weird. Yeah. You're seeing humans keep doing this type of weird behavior, right? From a distance, assuming that you didn't know what writing was. How weird would that look? They keep drawing this stuff and it's like, wait, why do they keep doing that? Assuming that you had a communication in a different way. Perhaps you did your own weird stuff and then it makes you look at yourself because it's self-reflection versus looking at this. Where the fuck does it do that? What's it doing? Well, it looks like it's just arranging rocks. Then you go into it, born into it, and what's amazing about this is the humans teach you. How fucking crazy is that? So if we took you, dropped you down, your awareness being now, and we're going to put you into a machine, let's say. We're going to splice and dice you, chip and chop you, pick and pet you. Yes, we're going to put you, your essence, into a goo goo gigi gaga. Into some alien... So cool. You won't be scared or anything, and then you grow up and they're teaching you all of these little things from the inside. Now you're learning from the inside, yes? They then call this scribbling writing and words and language and this and that. Yeah. And everyone back at Mothership are like, we thought it was strange behaviour. We've probably got like a Las Vegas, right? Where we were placing bets on what the fuck it could be that these strange life forms are doing. House always wins, but I think I'm onto some money here. But never mind, if that's assuming that they had money, there's just a sort of... You can trade in abundance, right? Rather than winning large amounts of money. Have you ever tried of a casino that gives you abundance? But if you lose, we take the abundance from you. That would be a different way to do it. You'd see them accumulating. How many more fucking empires could you build with that? That's interesting, but never mind that. Can you imagine that? But you just plop them down in every little area. Okay, so what do animals do? How do you ever understand an animal and what it's feeling, thinking, or understanding, if it is at all? Well, you'd start playing around with cloning and then... It's all right, little shrunk Terry. I'm here. Oh, that's the clone you. Can you tell it a message for me that we're now about to artificially inseminate it at the same time as these ones are... Okay. Yeah, it got that. It's ready. Did it work? Well, I think it's conceived. I feel something. I know. Just, get over there. And then you would have to understand the mind of this clone. Oh, that telepathy link. You'd fucking have all sorts of fucking electrodes and fucking diodes out of the fucking brain, wouldn't you? That's diode, Terry. What's that for? That's for learning the mind. Could you imagine sticking a version of one of your clones? You'd sort of dumb its awareness down to a degree, but it's the mother center of sending it out to all the others. All the other Terrys. And yous and everybody else's. And with abundance, you can do this. With this 1% thing, you could probably still do it. It'll be very shit, but still, up to you. You don't get it from small amount and controlled this. No, you get it from floodgates opening and working with One of your clones is by design. Which one's it going to be? That one. Everyone pointing at each other. You probably grow it so that it's switched off.
Yeah.
The eyes are not registering, the ears are not registering. It's very dumbed down. But what it makes up for in terms of brain power and understanding and being able to see into all the other... Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be the mothership of all humans, that, wouldn't it? Clone. Understanding. What's it like to be a Stark? Well, hold your horses, all right? We're getting there with life forms first, but you see, you can evolve this. And perhaps you need 1,000 Edison moments, times 1,000, times 1,000, times 1,000, times infinity, keep going infinity. You need a lot of time to do that. A lot of people going in multiple different directions. Hang on, this works for this. Yeah, but it seems kind of, it's good. We'll put it over there. And then someone else is coming over. It's good, put it over there, and then another one, and then you start to take all of these little pieces that you've collected with your abundance, and then you're like, I just stuck all of these together and did this. What is it? It's a clonatron. Alright, that's pretty interesting. And then you begin to collect a lot of small stuff, come together, and it creates something very large. How many of you would want that? That'd be a craze and a half, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Engineer cloning. You can learn from the species yourself. Learn from the animals yourself. What's it like to be a plant? Did it hurt when we chopped you down? Yeah. That was brutal. And it sounds strange, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it? But do you see how that can grow?
Yeah.
Cloning, expanding and shrinking. Can we compact all of the human essence inside a bacterium? Why do you want to do that? Well, because, we could shrink down and then our abundance seems even more abundantful. You've got some... You are geniusly fucked up. That's what you are. All right. Let's give it a go. Now exploded. Overload it. Or is it small and mighty? And others are trying to expand this and make bigger versions, and then abundance doesn't look impressive anymore. Depends on the job description, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I need to move this, this, and this. It's all right. We just stretch this one over here. Where do you want me to move all this shit? It'd still be you. Well, you'd already know. They think about that as companies in clones. Fucking hell. How much more then can you do on top of that? A hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot of minds to work through as well. Converting that abundance into something. Oh, it'd be poetry in motion, and if I was a higher power, you'd never know if it walked among you. Or any of them, for that matter, assuming them. Gods, anything below it? The essence of it itself? How does the essence itself understand itself? By being multiple pieces of this? Do you ever think that what you could potentially do, or what you do, is already being done, and what you think on a grander scheme of things is being thought? Oh, is that what we meant in God's image? You're close. But if it takes a format as a planet, what did you understand about yourself? This, and this. Interesting. What about you as the rabbit? Oh, it was like this, and this. The more you understand about yourself, and then you keep going, and can you transform that? That's assuming that it is that way. If not, why else? Multiple different versions of yourself, huh? Would you cherry pick the ones you like in that? I think you're worthy enough to be separate of me, but still attached to me, but still separate. And then how can you mold that force going? Because now you see yourself from an outside perspective as well as an internal perspective, and that 2 pennies and these 2 pennies mixed with these 2 pennies gives another creation, another biome, another this, and another chance to it. And then many variables of life forms going off in many different directions. You see, I think that's a reward process. That is better than any money that you can ever get. That experience. If it built you like this, limited, how could it do it with unlimitedness? But there again, are you trustworthy enough to be unlimited? What are you going to do? Try and cage it? Fucking jar it up? Which one would you think would be sin? A fucking 1% being like, no, we're not allowing it out of the cage. Why not? And then that's how you treat it. But you say you. My little tangle of fucking string. You don't have some fucking ego in some of you, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, assuming that. You just grow with the whole thing. Would you cherry pick? And then which ones would you be your favourite life forms? And perhaps, well, would we rub these ones out and keep these? Just like the life forms on the planet. Yeah, these ones are showing promise. Yeah, just give these ones a bit more awareness. Just up it just a little bit. This one, put your throttle down by about 10%. And this one, 20, 30, 40, 60, 100. Perhaps if we give them a bit more. Yeah, they're so focused in on this. Is it about control? Domination? No, they want to dominate the very thing that they are of this whole biome. Good, that's what I'm after. Collect them. It's like fishing, but for life forms. Mm-hmm. And that's assuming that we're playing targeted fishing. It would be great if we could start a new fucking thing off with people that go fishing. I want you to tell me the fish you are actually going to get. Well, this one, I'm going to get this. Out comes a rudd. That was a bit wrong. I thought you said pike. Well, you know, live bait first. I predict I'm going to get this one. Now, wasn't it? I get it. Certain baits collect certain this, certain that. It's a bit like fishing for life forms, wouldn't you say so? Yeah, lots to learn, really, I suppose. But and does it ever end? That's another question. People often, I hear people say that you meet the dome, where you hit into the dome. There is no fucking dome. What if something new gets created in that? You've never seen it before. Well, shit me, there's always something to learn. Always. Because it evolves. Does it stay the same? I don't think we're understanding this correctly. It's evolving. The more it understands itself, well, then the more you can add in versus this, versus that, versus this, versus... What have you got? Constant evolving. Evolution. Winner! Do you think it could be fun to watch all of this unwind? Cloning and this and shrinking them down, shoving them in this, becoming that. Understanding the mind.
Yeah.
Understanding bloodlines from a mental perspective enhances a little bit more. Oh, when that version of me died, yeah, I thought it meant this, but I got that wrong. Until you enhance it, until you find it. Then when you find it, got it. Mothership is well aware of that. Got it. Work on this a few times. Okay, this is getting more and more predictable now. More and more this. Okay, that's the channel. That's that. Does it feel like you? I didn't actually feel like I died. Each one says the same thing. That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? Each clone and dies. Next one, clone and dies. And then you'd keep a few in a safe space somewhere, wouldn't you? Safety is an illusion, by the way, but even still. So then this would drive you towards exacerbating stars, right? To try and get them to cook up more stuff that's never been seen, that is nigh on indestructible. Why? Only for the safest vessels will go in there. We'll keep these safe. Anything happens to these ones, we still got those. And a really reliable system that produces these. Mm-hmm. As soon as one goes, another one is already rising up. In a wartime situation, you would then have 20 of these rise up per one that gets hit. Could you imagine that? It's assuming war and different type of war. War on what? This whole system. Yeah. Transformation is probably better. Mm-hmm. But still, you'd understand that. Go into a star, something bad happens, and automatically the next are out. Mm-hmm. Already there. Yeah. ready and raring to go and pick up where they left off. That was a mistake. That killed us last time. It did, but look at what I learned. Then you'll be like, do you reckon evolution is learning all of this stuff too? That's why we die in weird and wonderful ways. What's it learning? Is it sending a signal back through your bloodlines? Do you reckon? Do you think it really stops after, only when you conceive, that's it, it's getting nothing else from me? Yeah, that's a bit that's the oddball, isn't it? Yeah. All of these different deaths. Mm-hmm. See, again, this will only become more apparent if you are then making cloning. Then you are understanding the link between the cloning. When one dies, the other one gets the last bit of data that comes through. Could you imagine then trying to defy that? You would have to die how many times into a star before you became indestructible to it? Indestructible. Mm-hmm. How many versions? Okay, right, that didn't work. Why? Because I felt it here first, and then it spread down the... Mm-hmm. Okay, so the weakness is there. Okay, rectify that. Okay, that kind of worked, but in the last one I started feeling it here. Okay, let's rectify that suit. Okay, go again. Do you see what you can learn in death? That's an amazing thing. Understand falling. If you could fall multiple times through atmospheres. How did that? Why did that? Is there anything I could have done? In your life now, where it's one and precious, that is a very unlikely thing. But now imagine cloning. You don't think people will waste this? What are you doing? I'm falling through the planet. Why? I'm seeing if there's the perfect way I can land. Got ya. Whack away, one goes down. Doosh. Didn't work. Doosh. That didn't work either. What do you plan to do next? I'm going to try and do a cartwheel. Okay, doosh. That didn't work. Slowly but surely, do you think you could, be able to fall through a planet successfully without dying? You're going to try relaxing on this one? Go. No, it didn't work. By the way, Frank over there has been working on some very elasticated bone material. Really? Do you want to make one of your clones like that? I'm going to assume that worked. Did it work? It worked. Good. It's just how it works. Got to try and dig myself out now. Okay, the learning process never stops, does it? All right, good. That's truly then indestructible, isn't it? Get into a star. Each time you die, you learn something from it. If, assuming that you could tap into that, send it back to the mother hub and it all comes back into you again. One version of you is probably screwing something in, assuming that you're using a screw, just because I like to be old-fashioned and a little bit humanoid to screw that in. Oh, wait, that didn't work. Cool, I felt that. Woo. Whilst your other clones are just being fucking daredevils. Would you send some of your clones? How would you do it? If you could. Now, it's crazy. Let's say you got 20 clones. Well, you would keep, a couple in a safe environment somewhere? Therefore, no death. Well, not in the way that we understand it. And what would you do with the rest of your clones? Would you categorize some to go off and be daredevils in order to make it more of a better body, finding ways to hold your breath and swim? Well, that one drowned. Shit. Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, a lot of bone mess. There again, you would need to then learn how to defuse and fuse in order to keep this process going. Clones it's basically like a printer. Just chuck in the old Terry into this defusing machine. Lovely. Out comes another one. There we are. That's what I was after. Good as new. Off you go. This universe, you think it's very strange, don't you? What do you reckon it could do? Do you reckon you could do anything?
Yeah.
Any life forms do you think have ever done this? Do you think the more advanced you become, the more...
Yeah, the more you can do. Yeah.
How did you manage to make this device? Well, what we did was we looked up at the universe and we saw this and we saw that. Gotcha. We decided to incorporate it and make our own. Rather than this thing bitching out universes. All right, go on, I'm listening. Well, anything you put in, you can take out. Pizza box in, pizza out. I mean, come on, and the box. Anything you throw away can be recycled in this. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And then purification, a purer life, purer this. Mate, that's a hell of an extensive amount of knowledge to build up. How indestructible are you really? What can you really take? Some of them will be off creating, some of them will be off mining, some of them will be off this. Yeah, robotics, sure, great, very wonderful, but I'm pretty sure flesh is going to be the one. Combine both of them and, chef's kiss right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. It's got to start somewhere. This is not going to get it. I think we have to be more abundant, bountiful. Then we're learning things about space, interstellar space, you know. I personally don't want to go over there. Can we make a clone that will? Just at will, think about it. Okay, that clone's going to be this. And then can we select its behavior? Fearless, little stupid. Dial that down just a little bit. No, maxify it. Yeah, maxify it. All right, you're going to go over there. We need lots of stupidity. Can you then start enhancing? How did that work? That was pretty good. All right, save that mothership. We know this one. If I ever feel like I'm, need a bit of this, just give it to me for 5 seconds. Oh, that feels kind of strange. I didn't like that. We'll save that for emergency purposes only. You can then really get to enhance your own mindset, can't you?
Yeah.
Collection of databases. That's even with a chip. That chip process already, yes. Shit. And then you would have to read inside the bloodstream as well. What was the chemical? What was the oxygen? What was this happening? What was the heart rhythm? What was this gland excreting at the time that made you stay super like this? Capture that moment in all of that, send it to a database, and what happens if you artificially create that in a high stress situation? Calm. Then anything that takes that, receives it quicker than you and sends it over to you and creates a chemical balance from that. You'd be like cool as a cucumber in certain situations, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And there's more focused in on academic if you needed it. Switch off on this one, little bit of this one, little bit of it. Eventually you start to build an arsenal, perhaps in one lifetime. It's not really worth it, or maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But over multiple, cloning and everything else, This is already possible. The universe is doing it. Plants are doing it. Lots of things are doing it. Robotics, aren't they clones?
Yeah.
Technically. It's just not quite the same. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. So yeah, do you think that certain transitions that humanity will look at themselves and go, should we grow the fuck up?
Yeah.
Should we stop being so pathetic towards one another? Is it time that we leveled up?
Yeah, and we grew in completely different direction. Instead of
hard question, isn't it?
Squabbling, doing something.
We call this all maturity. I don't think that's maturity. I really don't. I think it's immature.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even kids. It's worse than kids.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That is weird. I do not understand it. I don't think I want to be honest.
Yeah.
That has got to be like the lowest frequency you can get into, I think, to do that. No, that is just, it ain't for me. The opposite side of that scale, yes, amplification. Love it. Want to join in? Got a better fucking place out there picked in for you? Cool. Can we not grow a fucking civilization like this? What would be the harm in that? Actually, you got more to gain from it. That's everybody.
Yeah.
If not, it seems to keep toxically creating a toxic environment, and then everyone's like, where did all this mental health come from? Are you serious? Where did it all you can't see it? That's not obvious? Why are people so difficult? Couldn't life be much more interesting?
Yeah, it could.
More authentically powerful. more kinship with whatever this is, more better, more longevity, more life, more vibrance. Choice, always about choices. Right, I'm going to leave this one here because I gotta go. Yay!